It's your boy Zay-P, Zay-P to I am. I am that I am, as you are that you are, for we are all that we are. So it's your boy Zay. I'm back again. I wanted to drop a quick video just to share some information that came through for me a little bit earlier when I was in a private one-on-one session. So if you can, feel free to share this out, drop some comments, drop some likes, just give your boy some love. I always appreciate it. And if you haven't, be sure to check out my page, facebook.com/im.zayp, and book a one-on-one or join me on the live sometime. So that said, that out of the way, I wanted to come through and just share this message on sitting in your divine knowing. So while I was in session earlier today, doing a one-on-one with somebody, I was in a deep channeling state with my higher self and with the I am essence, and some information started coming through to me with regards to how we can strengthen our own intuitive gifts and how we can actually access the Akashic records, or the knowing, the innate knowing that we're all divinely connected to, at any given moment, at any given time throughout our day, in our particular processes. We can access this aspect of source divine consciousness and just that innate knowing. And it is a really simple process, but the thing that kind of gets us caught up and gets us stuck and away from the ability to connect, the ability to tap into the Akashic field or the grand knowing, is the egoic mind. It's basically us keeping ourselves in that smaller state, where we desire things like control. The ego wants to control everything, control the whole situation, the whole scenario. Jennifer, Jude, Natalie, Trisha, all of you, thank you for popping in. So control is one thing. Also, the desire to see the bigger picture. We always want to have an understanding of the hows and the whys and all of the nuanced aspects. And this is normal. This is a normal thing to desire and to seek out in life, because this is what we learn, right? We learn that physical life is all about pattern recognition, and the more you can see the bigger picture, the better you can plan, the better you can attack a situation. But when it comes to accessing the Akashic records, when it comes to tapping into your divine knowing, it requires a very solidified trust, right? A very solidified experience of faith. And a lot of times we will talk to ourselves, the mind will talk to itself and fool us into like, oh yes, of course I trust, of course I have faith. And then we'll run the motion saying, I know this, I have, I know this and I know that, and I have all this higher self-knowledge, but we don't actually ever feel it. We don't actually ever experience it because we're stuck in our heads running around in the maze, right? And so what is required to tap into the Akashic field and to tap into the divine knowing is to really step outside of ourselves. Once you're able to step outside of the egoic mind, once you're able to release the need for control, once you're able to release that desire to see the bigger picture so you can maybe have the most informed action or take the most planned steps, when you can step beyond that, you can bring yourself to this present moment. And in this present moment, when you can tap into the heart space and connect with your authentic truth, putting aside all ego, putting aside all other distractions and circumstances of life, but actually pulling yourself out of that into a place of stillness, just into the present moment, and tapping into your truth, the grand picture then becomes accessible to you. See, the mind can never hold the grand picture in, so there's no way you'll ever be able to understand any of this. This is why so many people walk through life saying, we can never understand God's ways. We can never know the grand picture. We cannot, because in our minds, our smaller minds, you cannot hold the vastness of the universe, let alone universes atop of universes. You cannot hold that in our minute human mind. But if we come back to the present moment and you drop into your authentic truth, this is where you drop into divine knowing, which then opens up the door to all. It opens up the door to the Akashic field. Your truth pulls in the resonance frequency of the overall truth, the grander picture. And when you can sit in that space with trust and with knowing, not necessarily forcing it or thinking, okay, I'm going to try to tap, but actually just coming to the present moment in stillness. All doors are open to you. All truth is known without being in the mind. It's known simply through the expression of the heart. This is how you begin to tap into the Akashic records. This is how you begin to sit in your divine knowing. This is when all these answers and all this knowledge and all this information comes free flowing out of your mouth, comes free flowing out of yourself, comes free flowing from source, buried deep within you, buried deep within your heart space. So, if you're ever looking to connect with truth, if you're ever looking to figure out what's the bigger picture, what's the end game, what is this all about, or any of these grander other questions, you need not search everywhere, you need not seek anywhere else. Try to start with yourself and start with the present moment. Start with trust and knowing. Just sit still, detached from the mind and the egoic need to know, need to control, but just be. In the being, you can experience your truth. And in experiencing your truth, you open the door to worlds unknown. So, this is your message with regards to tapping into Akashic records, tapping into greater truth, and to your own divine knowing. I hope it resonates with you. And I love you all.